Hey guys, we are here with Ina, the lady that kept us going the whole event. Like, she was a superstar. She was the real MVP.
This you will take twice a day, morning and evening, 5 days, antiviral. You will open it, I will show you. 3 times a day, it will be perfect.
She's the real MVP.
So they can't smile
Can't. They're just staying with poker faces without any movement.
for an hour.
Yeah.
So we stayed a little bit after. We did design on the back of her head just to show our appreciation for her. So, I wanted to say thank you so much.
Thank you.
I really, really do appreciate it. I'm sure Alfonso does too. We'll see you in September, but you want to see it? Ready? Check it out. Alright, so I haven't done a design in forever. But especially on my YouTube channel. So Fonzo kind of taught me into this, and it's for Ina, so had to do it. But I think what people normally call this design is like a lotus flower. I pretty much Googled designs for female undercuts and picked one that I liked and did it. So I guess there won't be a lot of commentary in this video, but anywhere I could give you guys a little bit of a tip when doing designs, I will. So I generally like to start in the center and work my way out. So if you notice, when I started in the middle. I started with the circle and the point that's in the middle, just to keep things proportioned. And I don't necessarily put hard lines right off the bat. I do a lot of soft lines just in case you mess up. You can fix it, but once you touch it up with the razor. So for the most part, I'm just trying to keep everything proportioned. Soft lines, trying to keep everything proportioned, and then once everything's laid out and it looks proportioned, then I'll start detailing. Generally, I like the length of hair when I'm doing designs to be about a 1.5 or a 1 open. It's important to use a soft bristle brush because when you're doing designs, you tend to brush a lot, and you don't want the scalp to get red, and then you can't see the details that you want to put in or be able to see. And I'm using my Slimline LIs by Andes. They're not like the sharpest the way I have them set, but they're small, they're slim, so they're a little easy to detail, and they don't get hot, so I can take my time. And when you're doing designs, you don't want to keep the lines too thin. You want a nice balance. So make sure they're thick enough to where the lines will pop and everything will stand out. Because if you leave the lines too thin, it's just gonna look unfinished. It's really not gonna pop. You need that contrast between the darker hairs and the lighter skin, right? And of course, quick plug-in, 245 shave gel, and we're gonna start detailing everything with the razor. Sometimes you can clean things up. You can even fix things, some shapes and stuff, with the razor, or thicken each line up a bit. And also the design will start to stand out much more. And we're using the 245 dual triple cartridge razor. All the stuff you can get on 245.com. So I like to use a razor with an exposed blade, so you can see the corners. Because obviously, when you're doing detail work, you're gonna use a lot of the corner of the blade. So for me, it's super important that I can see the blade. And since the razor handle is black, the contrast between the blade and the actual razor handle allows you to see the corners of the blade a lot more. So we're literally just using the corners of the blade and just touching everything up, and you can see everything starting to stand out more and more. Especially in these little sections right here. It's a lifesaver when you can easily see the corners of the blade. So these lines weren't perfect. You can see that I put in with the trimmer. We'll shape them a lot more with the razor, because it's just much easier to do these small detailed lines with the straight razor. Alright, so now we're gonna start blending the design, and this is just gonna give it a little bit more, you know, of a contrast thing, but also it gives it that 3D effect. It just makes designs pop more when you put a little bit of a blend. It almost looks like, you know, shading when you're doing tattoos. You guys can see I'll use the zero or the clipper close and open the lever, you know, like I normally do. Then I'll put the half guard, then number 1 guard, and that blends the design, because it's a one open to start with, right? That's what the base is. So, but you can see how doing some fading in your design just gives it some extra flavor, man. And just to put things into context, the lady in this haircut tutorial that I'm doing the design on, she had a design before, and she hadn't got one in a while because most of the barbershops don't do designs in Russia. But you know, she told Fonzo that she wanted one, so we made sure that we gave her a design, and she took care of us while we were in Russia. Like anything we needed, she took care of it. So big ups to Ina for such hospitality and love. And look out for the Russia vlogs coming soon. You ain't gonna want to miss those. It was definitely epic in Russia. So sometimes there's some hairs that are still overhanging after you finish it with the razor. Those are tough to get with the razor, so just, you know, go back with the trimmers and just knock those hairs out of the way. And I'm just doing one last cleanup with the one open to make sure everything's all even. And we're gonna use some fibers just to touch it up some. Normally I will use Kiss Express. It's a semi-permanent, and it dyes the hair, right? It colors the hair, and it lasts longer, right? So, you know, Kiss Express will last, you know, 3 to 5 days, where fibers are just, you know, one wash and they're gone. But normally I would use Kiss Express to really make the design pop. But I wanted you guys to see something similar to how it would look if I finished it with Kiss. I didn't have Kiss with me. I didn't bring any with me while I was in Russia, and I didn't know where I was going to get it in Russia, so we just went with the fibers. This is what it would look like either way if I would have finished it with Kiss, except Kiss would have lasted longer. Adding this to any design just will make it pop. So like a lot of the designs you see on Instagram that really have a lot of contrast, dark tones and light tones and stuff, it's probably because they touched it up with Kiss. See it? Ready? Check it out. You're welcome.
Thank you. It's amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I want a photo.